Welcome to Manufacturing Conversations, a podcast series by Manufacturing Today, where we sit down with the leaders who are shaping how India manufactures, builds, and sustains its industrial background. So, India's infrastructure, we all know that it is at an inflection point, and billions in fresh investments are coming in. Supply chains are being redrawn, factories are being built, but here's the real conversation, where aging assets are running alongside new capacities. Downtime, as we know, it costs money. Corrosion also does not wait for budget cycles, and the gap between the global best practices and what actually gets deployed on the ground remains very stubbornly wide. So today we are talking about the infrastructure, protection, and repair, the so-called unglamorous and but absolutely critical discipline that keeps the plants running, projects flowing, and the pipelines running. So joining us today is Mr. Pradhyumna Ingle, who is the Global Head Infrastructure Protection and Repair at Henkel Adhesive Technologies, to discuss how global best practices are being adopted in India, adopted for India, and what it takes to move from a reactive maintenance to long-term asset performance. So let's find out how it changes the game for Indian plant engineers. Welcome, Mr. Ingle.
Thank you so much, Sujata, and also big congratulations to you and Manufacturing Today magazine and the group for starting this podcast. I had the opportunity to watch a couple of the episodes that you've done before, and they're quite value-adding, enriching, and very well conducted by you. So,
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you. So let's start with the infrastructure crisis that we have. So the scale of deterioration to talk about, the India's infrastructure is like aging and faster than it can be replaced by the many critical sectors. So from your vantage point at Henkel, how acute is this deterioration? And what does the scale of problem actually mean in terms of asset failure risk, maintenance cost, and productivity losses, especially in industries like oil and gas, steel, and power?
As you know, Sujata, we are a developing country, which means that, and you said it in your introduction, we have a great combination here of aging infrastructure which is old, at the same time, new infrastructure being built. In fact, if you see the national infrastructure pipeline, which was announced by the government in, I think, end of 2020, has a capital outlay of 1.5 trillion. This is one of the largest infrastructure outlay from any government globally. If you also look at in terms of the spend, the capex spent by the government over last decade, we have all grown it almost 3 to 4 times. Having said that, we also have an aging infrastructure because we are still developing. We have our pipeline assets or municipal infrastructure, which is 50, 60, 70 years old, in many cases even beyond their designed life, which means that there is a significant investment needed into also rejuvenating, rehabilitating those infrastructure. Again, on that front, the government has also put schemes like Amrit, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, where 3 lakh crores have been announced. A lot of it is going towards the water and wastewater infrastructure. All these are important as we want to get to a Viksit Bharat or developed nation by 2047, because these infrastructures are truly the bedrock of industrial development. Unless you have good roads, water, electricity, and energy infrastructure in place, we can't really achieve this. And with all the initiatives that the government has, with the private sector participation, I think we're on the right trajectory to achieve the goal where we can avoid these failures, that which can undermine the industrial growth, but on the other hand, actually facilitate what we want to achieve as a country.
Why Indian? In the sense, Henkel has now made a strategic decision to bring its global IPR portfolio to India. So why now in India, to India for the first time? So what was the inflection point that made this happen and to introduce all these new products that you yourself has brought to India and end-to-end IPR suite to Indian market? Was this demand-led or Henkel proactively is shaping this market?
A great question. So Henkel and the Loctite branded products especially were always the gold standard when it comes to proactive maintenance of machines, of equipment, and in the industry. With the acquisition of Critica and Seal for Life. These are the two companies we acquired in last 2.5 years now. In fact, April is the second anniversary of Seal for Life acquisition. We also acquired capabilities to do emergency repair, but also do proactive protection of industrial assets which are being built, maintained, repaired, but also long-term sustainability and durability of these assets. So the inflection point truly was our strategic aim towards having a full portfolio or full suite of solutions for end-to-end solutions for our customers, whether it is day-to-day maintenance, whether it is emergency repair, or long-term protection of assets. And with these two acquisitions, we are actually able to bring the unmatched portfolio of solutions to our customers, not only in India, but also globally.
So, are you custom making it for India, or is it the same brand value which is?
Actually, both. A lot of our solutions, actually, our customers need them to be proven globally. These solutions go into highly critical infrastructure, which have where there is a high cost of failure. Having proven track record, certifications are extremely important, and customer expect that our products meet global standard. They are certified globally, they are proven globally. So many of our solutions, or majority of our solutions, actually have that track record that we can bring. At the same time, every customer, not just in India, but also in other countries or other situations, might have some specificities for which we would need to design the products for and customize the products. Henkel in India, take as an example, we are here for 40 years. We have our own R&D center here in Pune and in Mumbai, and we have the ability to innovate and make the products for our Indian customers. In fact, many of our innovations are, when we started this innovation center, was primarily coming from global to local, but now we are taking many of the innovations from India to rest of the world as well.
That's good to know. So, one portfolio and three brands. How does this work in the sense, unifying three distinct, globally recognized product lines under a single IPR, offering a significant go-to-market decision? What is the strategic logic behind presenting all these products as an integrated portfolio to Indian customers rather than standalone solutions?
I'll take a simple example. When you buy a car, you want to make sure that the car owner also is helping you to service the car when you need it. You also want to make sure that when something goes wrong, you also are there to repair the car and make sure that throughout the life cycle of the car, you get that support. Similarly, with our end-to-end solutions, we are able to bring that confidence, that trust, but also convenience to the customers. If you look with the portfolio that we have, we are able to give our customers truly cradle to grave solutions, whether they're building new infrastructure, new pipelines, new industrial infrastructure, or new civil infrastructure. They can build in durability and reliability into those assets from day one. If they have to maintain them, we have a full portfolio of Loctite solutions with which they can maintain and repair, whether it is an emergency situation or scheduled maintenance, they can do that as well. And if something has to be done to rehabilitate those infrastructure, they have to be replaced, they have to be redesigned because technology evolves, and we are also there to offer them. This offers customers huge convenience because instead of working with three different companies or three different providers where they have to verify or validate the compatibility of solutions, the longevity of the solutions, or the track record, they have an opportunity to work with one company, which offers them unique expertise of bringing end-to-end solutions, innovation, but also very importantly, service capabilities.
Okay.
What I mean there is many of these solutions need to be applied by trained, certified applicators. If you work with three different companies, now you're dealing with three different applicators sometimes. Now you have an opportunity to work with somebody who is trained on how to use these products in the field, make sure that they're applied the way they are designed to be applied, and you have someone standing behind these, one company standing behind end-to-end solutions.
And how does this change the conversation you're having with the procurement and the engineering teams? How does Henkel ensure that that this breadth of capability does not come as a complex thing for the customer? Especially in the sectors where engineering teams are already stretched because we know how skilled workers are scarce in this country and may not have the bandwidth to evaluate these product lines in parallel.
That's a great question, Sujata. We always believe customer partnership is the key in us winning the business. In today's world, typically technology is ephemeral. It is incidental. Somebody will always come there and have a different technology or can catch up. But the customer partnerships are what make us unique. With our more than 3,000 engineers and technical colleagues around the world, we are able to bring our customers all the engineering support, product know-how, and application know-how to wherever they are in the world. We have close to 100 technical team members here in India who are there to support the customers and engage with them. So our aim is to actually simplify things for our customers. So it makes it easier for them to work with us and design solutions which help to meet all their needs. By combining this portfolio under one company, under one technical advisory team, we are able to also make it easier for customers. As I mentioned previously, it's not only about designing the right solution or the right combination of solutions, but also making sure that it is executed well. And that's where we come in and train our applicators to make it easier for our customers. So I see a huge benefit with our global footprint. We are able to get the global know-how, global use cases to our customers in India and make sure that these fit our customers' requirement.
Do you also train your customers to, do the smaller repairs?
Absolutely. Customer training is a big part of our sales and technical team's KPIs. It's not only about the awareness. Many times we are helping our customers to move away from conventional method of repair to a new method of repairing or rehabilitating their assets, and it requires a lot of education, consultative selling. But beyond that, many of the smaller repairs, the customers or customers maintenance team, we enable them to identify the challenges and address those challenges by themselves. By doing that, we also enable them to make sure that they are not waiting all the time, or they're able to assess the risk themselves even before they can come to us or to another service provider. Technical education is a big part of our offering. Actually, we take pride in having this is Henkel's 150th anniversary. Adhesive Technologies has been part of Henkel for almost 100 years. No other company has such breadth of knowledge, expertise, and use cases. And we combine all of these and bring those to our customers in a way that they can use it to their day-to-day applications.
Yeah, I mean, it's a necessary factor to avoid the downtime which many of this critical industries have.
Absolutely.
So you have selected some sectors. So what's like energy, oil and gas, steel, water, and civil infrastructure are your priority sectors. What's a common thread out there, or that makes this sectors particularly suited or for the next generation IPR solutions?
I can think of three big areas which help us to focus on these. One, as I mentioned previously, these are truly the bedrock of any industrial growth or industrial manufacturing. India, where we are trying to become the third largest economy, industrial manufacturing and growth is fundamental to that story. And infrastructure development, whether it is energy, oil and gas, as you mentioned, civil infrastructure, water infrastructure is truly fundamental to do this. In India, we see huge investments coming in here as the society urbanization also happens. Also notice almost 70% of population is under coverage now or is designed or targeted to be covered under the city gas distribution. There is a focus on rural water distribution network as well. And again, the idea is that it goes from 17% currently to 70%, where every home can have tap water. But also on the industrial side, such efforts are being made. So it is extremely important for developing countries like India, and we want to be participating in this mega trend. Second, if you see each of these industries that you mentioned and the industries that we are participating, there is a very high risk or catastrophic risk of failure over there. So reliability and durability is extremely important, and that's where we take pride in that our products are proven. Our portfolio has been designed to ensure this durability or reliability that customers expect from us. So this is an area that we believe that we can also not only participate but also shape the industry, working closely with the customers with our innovation, our capability to come up with new solutions. We can do that. And last but not the least, sustainability. Sustainability is a part of Henkel's DNA. We believe that by helping our customers to rehabilitate and reuse some of their assets by getting the longer asset life, we're able to help them to also attain their sustainability goals. As many countries, also in India, they are moving from the conventional energy sources to cleaner energy. Again, we can help them to achieve their goals as well with our portfolio. So we are really excited to participate in these industries, which form the core of any industrial economy.
As we spoke, there are very age-old equipments, and then there is a movement to new Industry 4.0 ready equipments. So your products work for both the segments, right?
Absolutely.
And how do you make the transition in the sense, you know, the products that are required for the new age ones are slightly different from the age old the if you say the traditional ones which we have.
No, I think that's a good point, and that's where the breadth of portfolio plays a very important role. So, take for example, if you look at oil and gas infrastructure, we have solutions to protect the new pipelines as they are being installed. There is a damage to those pipelines, whether it is on the coatings or on the wall thickness of the pipelines. We're able to give our clock spring CSNRI branded solutions to repair the pipelines. On the new pipelines, we have a brand called Canusa and Stopak, which are typically used as protective coatings to protect these pipelines from corrosion, even when they're buried under water or underground. At the same time, we can also rehabilitate some of these pipelines. So, as you said, some of the pipelines after 30, 40, 50 years, when they are excavated, we have solutions to rehabilitate, remove the old coatings and put new coatings. Or if they want to replace some sections of the pipelines, we can do that. And I'm giving example of the pipelines, but this is true for any industrial asset.
Are there sector specific pain points in India that differ meaningfully from what Henkel has seen in other global markets? And what's the gap between the global and the Indian ground reality?
Yes and no. If you see, because we are a developing country, obviously there are some areas where we are riding that train or boarding that train a little bit later. And sometimes it also allows us to leapfrog the change. So, take for example, India is the mobile first telephony network, right? And if you see in most developed countries, they went to landlines first. The landlines were saturated, and they moved to mobile phones at the next step. We leapfrogged the whole landlines, and we directly went to mobile telephony. Our mobile telephones grew much faster than the landlines grew. Similarly, we have an opportunity as we see that we have to rehabilitate or rejuvenate our existing infrastructure as well as build new infrastructure. I think there is a huge opportunity for us to embrace new technologies. So, some of the solutions that we are bringing to the market globally, many of those they are being adopted maybe after 50, 60 years of evolution. And in India, we will be able to adopt them much earlier, even in the new pipelines being built, that we would have an opportunity to bring the cutting edge, latest innovations.
Now, coming to the outcomes and the measurable impact that you can create, the uptime and the life cycle performance are described as very critical for all these industries. So, can you walk us through a specific use case wherein, perhaps in pipeline corrosion management or structural reinforcement in water infrastructure, where Henkel has integrated an approach which has delivered outcomes compared to conventional siloed repair methods?
Absolutely. I can give you one example which is quite recent, and I was in the US that time. It was almost a year ago in June in the city of Calgary in Canada. It's a highly industrialized city. The home for oil and gas in Canada is in Calgary. It's a relatively large city in Canada with 1.5 million people or 15 lakh people, which would be a tier 2 city in India. They had a water main which broke overnight, so, and that was feeding water to almost 60% of the population of the city of Calgary, and suddenly they had no water supply. So they were looking for a solution which can work quickly, which can help them to attain their uptime and get back to service goals very quickly. And they chose two of our products to combine the solution to repair that water pipeline over there. They chose a product called Stopak. Stopak is a polyisobutadiene-based material which requires minimal surface preparation. So just imagine this pipeline which had to be now replaced. So they had to open the trench or dig the pipeline and put a new pipeline over there. They had no place or ability to do any surface preparations. Typically, before any coating is applied, you have to do a lot of surface preparation so the coating sticks. The unique quality of Stopak is that it can work with minimal surface preparation. So it requires very less effort, but very less downtime to be applied onto the coating. The other product they chose was life last coating, which is largely used for potable water systems, and they use that to provide internal corrosion protection on the pipeline. Originally, they're expecting about 4 weeks of downtime to repair this, but because of our solutions, they're able to cut to less than half of the downtime they were expecting, and a lot of that was actually in the excavation and replacement of the pipeline. The coatings themselves actually were reduced significant time, and both these are solutions are proven over multiple applications. Stopak is widely used in oil and gas industry for pipeline corrosion protection. More than 12 million square meters of installations has been done with Stopak product over different pipelines, but also different industrial assets in harsh environments, for example, of Middle East, but also in Canada, for example, or in India. So multiple environmental exposures, this has worked. It gives more than 3 times longer life versus traditional or conventional coatings and saves 99% of effort when it comes to surface preparation or waste that goes along with that surface preparation.
Okay, any India specific examples?
I can talk about one which is quite recent. I'll not name the place because we're still executing over there. So, we have in many municipal corporations, we have infrastructure which is very old, 50 to 100 years old, 100 years old. Some of that was even built in the British era. As this water, wastewater, and sewer systems they age, there is an urgent need to rehabilitate them because they also are not only creating a risk to the sewer system, but there is also a structural risk in case they collapse. Many of these are, almost all of these they are underground. In our cities, crowded cities, there is very it's very difficult to stop traffic and dig a trench and then repair. So need solutions which can be trenchless, which can be applied quickly, and which can also give a long life. We have introduced in India our geopolymer system for rehabilitation and repair of sewer systems. These require, again, minimal surface preparation. They are proven all over the world. Basically, you are building a pipeline inside a pipeline. Because they are spray applied or manually applied, they can take any shape or form of the structure. They have huge flexural strength versus ordinary cement or other solution, and they can extend life up to 50 years. So highly durable and reliable. And we are executing those also in India, helping again the municipal corporations to get longer life of their existing asset. Do it quickly because we don't want to stop the traffic for 1 month or 2 months, which will be chaos. And we are able to help them to do it in an environmental friendly way and a sustainable way.
Okay, so what are the concrete metrics that differentiate in integrated IPR from the fragmented solutions, like downtime avoided or the life cycle extension, cost savings, most importantly?
I think all of it, I would say. If you see typical maintenance engineers or asset integrity managers in industrial environment, but also in civil or municipal environment, typically they look at reliability. And they measure reliability. Two metrics which come to my mind is MTBF, so mean time between failures. So typically how long it takes before things fail, and MTTR, so mean time to repair. So how quickly can you repair? And these two are very important metrics, and we help our customers to achieve both of them. Beyond that, it is the service life of the assets. So if the asset is designed for a certain lifetime, so 10 years or 20 years, how can you help them to get a longer service life that helps them to achieve their sustainability goals, reduce their capex outlay, and get more out of their investment? And in the end, reliability, energy savings. I'll give you one more example. uh, our Loctite polymer composite, they also help our customers not only to repair but also get more out of their investments. One example application is in the repair and rehabilitation of pumps. You know, pumps are like hearts in any industrial environment, especially in the process industries. They help customers to take fluid from one place to another. Over a period of time, these pumps get damaged. They tend to lose the efficiency. We help our customers to rebuild, rehabilitate these pumps, but we also give them ultra low friction coating inside of those pumps, which helps to then achieve energy efficiency improvement of 5 to 10%. Think about it, in every plant, there are hundreds of pumps. If they can each go up 5 to 10% higher in terms of energy efficiency, it is huge cost saving, but also making sure that they can achieve their carbon emission goals.
Moving on to the market maturity, which is there. Now, most of the industries are moved on to the predictive maintenance than the reactive maintenance part. So, how mature is India's IPR market on that continue today?
I think India is, as I mentioned previously, at the precipice of combining at the convergence of various technologies, right? And again, because we are an emerging economy, we are emerging in our manufacturing technologies. Some of the podcasts that I was watching from your side also talks about it. We have a unique opportunity to combine, and converge the conventional methods with the new methods. Henkel also has been pioneering predictive maintenance solutions, combining the adhesives with monitoring and measuring systems. You know, adhesives are typically in the most intimate spaces in an industrial machine. By combining and making them smart and sensorizing those adhesives or combining them with other sensors, we have a unique opportunity to not only monitor the performance of the adhesives themselves, but also of the rest of the equipment. And we have launched a new range called Loctite Pulse, which basically the name came up because we wanted to really measure the pulse of the equipment. With these solutions, we are able to monitor the industrial equipment, whether it is vibration, hydrocarbon leakages, stream leakages, and so on and so forth remotely. And we are able to then give to the customers solutions about repairing them. A new innovation which is being pioneered from our innovation center in India under the portfolio of Loctite Pulse is smart chemistry, where we are sensorizing the adhesives themselves, where the adhesives can actually talk about the health of the adhesive itself, but also the health of the equipment. Hopefully, we can talk about the smart chemistry maybe another time in more detail, but I'm very sure it will be exciting for all your viewers as well.
Yes, definitely. What is needed in terms of awareness or technical capability or ecosystem support to accelerate this transition in India, especially? And where does Henkel position itself enabling that transformation?
Absolutely. I think the industry itself is at its nascent stage, because just think about it. A lot of companies are bringing industrial IoT solutions. I think the compatibility of the solution, the ability of different solutions to talk to each other is still being developed. Only 2 or 3 years ago, there is a global common guideline for how we make sure that different systems can talk to each other. In India, also, we are working on that. A big part of this is going to come from joining forces with sensor manufacturers, the end users, and companies like Henkel, which bring chemistry to the game. And by combining the industry know-how, the material know-how, and the sensorization of different industries, only will be able to do it. We are participating in this by joining multiple forums, whether I talked about developing standards for future compatibility of different ecosystems, or even participating in the university ecosystem, which is where a lot of new ideas and new innovations will come from. So we're trying to work at multiple fronts to enable this convergence and make it into a reality.
Okay, you spoke about your innovation center, and I am presuming it has a lot of R&D activity, which is buzzing with R&D activities. So, what is the investment that goes into R&D? This is I know it is out of the syllabus, but still asking. How much do you concentrate on R&D?
Actually, Henkel has more than 3% of our revenue invested every year into R&D efforts globally. Just in adhesive technologies, we have close to 3,000 R&D scientists globally. And all of these scientists are in multiple locations, working around the world, but also networked. So that knowledge of 3,000 people working over, many of them are there with us for multiple years, but generation after generation, that accumulated know-how is very, very unique. We are investing significantly now, for example, in AI to harness that knowledge, that we can network that knowledge and make sure that is easily accessible. So a scientist in India, for example, can benefit from the knowledge and wisdom and experience of somebody in US or in Germany or in China, and vice versa. So we are investing heavily into that. Besides that, we also have some of the most advanced testing and measuring equipment in the labs, where we can simulate real life conditions on customer parts to make sure that we are not only developing chemistry or solutions which are only in the lab, but they're also proven on the field. A big part of it, this is, in the end, is about customers, because we don't innovate in isolation. You can only do so much sitting in a lab, and in the end, it has to work with the customers. So we have our sales teams, our application engineering teams, our technical teams in the field with the customers every day, identifying new solutions, identifying need for new solutions, identifying and helping our customers to be future ready. Because many of the industries we participate in, infrastructure protection repair is just one of them, whether it is electronics manufacturing, whether it is new energy vehicles, whether it is medical industry, all of them are going under transformation. Whether it is because of material science, whether it is because of new manufacturing techniques, or it is because of sensorization. And we are enabling many of these industries to be future ready. Many things we see around us today, whether you look at your mobile phone or your watch, your glasses, your cars, aircrafts, they would not be possible to be built in their current shape or form if there were no adhesives. So adhesives truly enable many industries to transform, flourish, and actually become future ready.
One last question. Do you also use collect data from your customers? Because when it comes to predictive maintenance, you will need those kind of data to make new solutions available.
Absolutely, and that data is with the customer. So we help them to collect the data, because only when they have the data, they'll be able to make better decisions. So our solutions actually help our customers to look at what their machines are telling them with data, obviously, and tell them when the machines have a problem. But with sufficient data, they can start to predict, and ideally, that data can tell them problem before even it happens. So they can take proactive measures to stop those problems from even happening. So smart chemistry or IoT solutions are actually enabling our customers to collect that data, analyze that data, and get insights from that data.
Thank you, Mr. Ingle. Thank you for your time and the insights that you're giving. We will schedule another podcast with you to know more about the smart chemistry that you guys are working on.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.